Hey, good morning. This is Bruce. It is Saturday, June 8th. This is the first day of Laconia Motorcycle Week. We are, of course, in Laconia at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I had the opportunity to catch up with Jordi and MJ from the New York City Chapter. And they've got a great story to tell, and I want to get them on a video. So thanks, guys, for coming in.
No, thanks for having us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Well, happy to have you here. Now, we just finished up the Rally Up Laconia run. So we met in Columbus on Monday. Tuesday, we went to Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Wednesday's Eastern Pennsylvania. Thursday was Albany, and then Friday, Rochester. Although I had to kind of scoot out to get here to help with the setup.
It's okay, we forgive you.
So how was the run? What did you guys think?
I think it was great. I mean, for the people that don't know what a touring rally is, it's a gathering of people where all follow the same path, kind of, but you are free to do your own ride. And at the end of the day, you met together in the same place to exchange the experiences. And that's what really we loved about this kind of rallies, because it allows you to be alone when you won, or it allows you to be in a group when you won.
Yeah.
And I think it went perfectly, except for the rain.
Okay, we don't have a lot of control over that.
No.
Yes.
We do pretty well in HOG, but we have not cracked that nut yet.
It's the second touring rally that we do. We've done other like regular rallies, but definitely the touring rally is our favorite because you're not stuck in just one city.
Right.
And we like that.
And you have to ride.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Well, yeah, and that's kind of why we all bought
Exactly.
motorcycles. to
Exactly.
ride.
Exactly, that's why we came here.
So actually, a little bit of background. We met 2 or 3 years ago at a rally that started in Maryland and
Yes.
headed on up to this area here. And you actually interviewed me. This is before I was doing this, so you guys
Yes.
were ahead of me on that. To see part of the country from the saddle of a Harley Davidson, that's the best way to see anything. That's why you should come to a rally. You wanted to talk a little bit about HOG chapters and why people join chapters, and what I saw from a rider standpoint, and actually what I also saw from the corporate standpoint working with HOG. But one of the things that struck me was your story. You told me a little bit about your background. Now you're from Barcelona,
Yes.
Spain.
Right.
And where did you get into riding, and how did that all come about?
We have been riding for 24 years. Since we got married. We've been together that long.
Okay.
And in Barcelona, it's very common to get your motorcycle license at the time you get your car.
Oh, okay.
Like regular license. It's a different mindset, and especially in Barcelona, there's a large number of motorcycles, and people usually have time to go home for lunch and then back to work, and that you can only do that if you have a motorcycle because it's easy to park and to move around. And that's how we started with motorcycles, just to commute. And then we really liked it, and one bike was not enough, and one thing led to another, and
Yeah,
It's a Harley addiction. Once you get that first
no
one,
one
it's
wants
hard
to
to
Yes.
no one wants to be in the backside.
on the back seat.
Yeah.
Right.
So she said, no, I want to have my license as well. And I think it's awesome because that way we can do I mean, if you are two up in a motorcycle, you ride together.
Sure.
But riding together, but individually, it's way better because both of us can feel
the thrill.
of riding it. It's on the back seat. It's you enjoy as well, but you enjoy differently.
But in Europe, it's not that common to have a Harley. It's more like a luxury. So we had always had like Yamahas and Suzukis and Hondas, and that's what people usually ride in Europe. And when we moved to the US in 2012, we said, okay, we need to, we knew we came here for a long time. And so let's get established. And as soon as we can, let's, get motorcycles because we had already been riding for a while. And we said, okay, we're in the US. The natural thing to do is to get a Harley. Here it's not a luxury, it's what people ride. And we had also heard a lot about the camaraderie and the HOGs and the community building. And we were really interested in that. And that's what led us to get the first Sportster and then a second Sportster and then a Softail. And, we moved along.
You moved along, and I'm not gonna give you a peek, but I'm gonna give you a peek. On this ride here, Jordi, 2 days ago, decided to trade up, and he got himself a Street Glide, the Fast Johnny Street Glide.
Yes.
And of course, MJ was not going to be outdone. So about a half an hour before we got on this video, she was on the phone with a dealership she's working with, and she just closed out a deal on a new road king. On a new road king. So yeah, the addiction is real.
Yes.
Yes. So I'll keep riding. I'm glad you guys are doing that with us. One of the things too I wanted to talk about was also, you told me that you had decided that, and I'm going to paraphrase that, I apologize if I get it wrong, it's almost like life is too short.
Yes.
And you were both working hard, and once you decided you were gonna take a 90-degree turn to the right and do something completely different. What was that?
To put it in an easy way, we basically work to get money to pay for gas. Right?
That sounds
so
familiar.
that's what we like. It's riding, it's the open road, it's meeting people, it's discovering new places. That's the fuel of our life. So I told Jordi, how would it be to just go out, hit the road, and just go on a cross-country trip? But you know, society, it's like, no, you need to get up in the morning, go to work, and back home next morning.
Do it when you retire.
Do it when you retire. And that's what we kept hearing all over again. And at some point I told Jordi, why? We're young and we have the energy. We don't know how would it be when we retire. Maybe we don't have the energy, maybe we don't have the health, maybe we don't like motorcycles anymore, who knows? So
after 1.5 years of planning, we decided 2020 is going to be our year. We decided to give notice to our landlord that we're going to stop our rent apartment in New York. We told our jobs that we were quitting to start the trip in March.
We sold everything, clothes, everything.
Yeah, and the idea was to start the 48 lower state cross-country trip on March 26, 2020. But then our theory manifested. So you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Don't wait until you retire.
Right.
Because COVID hit. And it hit on the last day of our actual jobs, actually, on March 13.
Yes.
It's when the country got in crisis. And we said, what are we going to do?
It was a scary time. It's easy now to have forgotten, but it was scary at the time. And New York City was in very bad shape. So our main concern was, what if they close? Manhattan is very easy to, and we get like isolated
It's an island.
for a lockdown or something. We need to hit the road as soon as possible, and we already had no job, nowhere to stay. But a few months back, we had already started some conversations with a few HOG chapters along our route. So because we didn't want to go to hotels, we wanted to see if some HOG chapters would be interested in hosting us. All we needed was a backyard for the tent, or maybe a bunk bed or whatever, right? So we had already been in conversation with some HOG chapters. And at the time, it was like, what are we going to do? Everything is closing down. The hotels are closed, no campgrounds. And we reached out to a guy at the Smoky Mountain HOG chapter, and we explained our situation. We said, look, remember that we reached out to you a few months back, that we would be here in, I don't know, in May. This is happening, we have nowhere to go. Do you still have a cabin? And he said, yes, we have a cabin. If you want, you're welcome to come and stay stay there. So we said, yes, we'll do it. We will pay you.
And we spent 1.5 months in there, or almost
yeah, for
2 months.
almost a lockdown.
But it was almost paradise, because we were like literally 3 miles away from one of the entrance to the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Oh yeah.
So everybody was kind of staying home, and we were riding up and down Blue Ridge Parkway.
Every day, just us.
It was great. And we end up doing our cross-country trip. We hit it 46 states instead of 48, because we have to reschedule after the 2-month lockdown. We have missing Washington and Oregon.
Okay.
Because we said, I think it's better to just skip the PCH one. It has enough power on its own to do a second trip eventually.
Sure.
That eventually it's going to happen. And we will cross country again, go all the way down or all the way up. I don't know yet, but we're going to do it soon.
Yeah, I've no doubt in my mind.
And all the trip, by the way, was documented in our channel, USA on Harley.
Yeah.
So I encourage you guys, if you want to see it, you can go and visit.
Yep.
And we did 24,000 miles?
We did 25,000 miles, only 800 on interstate. Everything was 2-lane or back roads. It took like 195 days. We encountered rain only 15 days. So it was a really good ratio.
Yeah.
Most of the time we camped,
It was 60% campings, 40% hotels or motels.
especially when we hit the northeast,
Yes.
because it was a little cold.
Right.
And we finished that trip in October 2020.
Nice.
Best time of our lives.
Oh man, it sounds like it. The best time
Yes.
of everyone's life. We all kind of do that. Now, I think the punchline of the interesting thing too is you decided you were going to go. You weren't going to wait for retirement. You were going to go,
Yes.
and you were going to go without jobs.
Yes.
And then you found out there were people that wanted to hire you. You
Yes.
ended up going back to work.
So, long story short is that on the way back home, we contacted our former companies, and out of the blue, our company said, "Oh, we have a space for you if you want to come back."
So
I
that
mean-
proves that it was meant to be, and
Yes.
like
Yeah.
no goals, no glory.
So you mentioned it before. I want to mention it again. One of the things that I realized when we were talking a few years back was that you were doing a YouTube channel, and it's called USA on a Harley. So you're coming in, I mean, as locals now because you've been here so long, but you're doing that across the country. Have you found people in Europe are following you as well?
Yes. So we wanted to create the channel for two reasons. One is to keep our family and friends informed about where we were and what we were doing. Because instead of sending millions pictures and communicating with all in different times, is I'm going to post this, you can follow us, and you can see what we're doing. We wanted to document it for ourselves, to have memories, and also we wanted to do it to prove and show the rest of the people what you are able to do when you are riding a motorcycle.
The people you meet, the places you find, the hidden gems in, like, you know, that diner, that museum, that local spot, so that other people that, you know, maybe want to do it, they can do it. Maybe they cannot do it, but they can still enjoy it.
Because riding a Harley Davidson is not riding a motorcycle. It has something else in it. You know, it's the what you feel, it's the experiences that you have. And we wanted to prove that I think Harley is more than just a machine. It gives you something extra. And we wanted to show that to the rest of the people.
And the community, yes. We have countless anecdotes from the trip, just because they see, oh, New York City chapter, wow, you came this far, what brought you here, I'll get you lunch.
I'll get you lunch, tell me your story. And
Yes.
that happened a
Yeah.
couple of times to
Yeah.
the trip.
That's happened to me once or twice as well, where people realize I'm out of Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Well, I'm going to let you guys go. I know you've got to get back to New York City.
Yes.
yes.
You've got
Yes.
some work you
Had
got
to
to catch
work.
up.
We have to work on Monday.
Pay for gas.
What a paradox.
Well, I want to thank you for your time. It's been wonderful. I really appreciate you doing this with me today. I appreciate you seeking me out a couple of years ago when we were in Maryland. And we're both doing channels. We're both trying to get people out riding, showing what you can do on a motorcycle. But I would like to think, honestly, that nice friendships come out of it. So
Of course.
thank
Absolutely.
you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank
Jordi.
you for
so
inviting
much.
us.
And that's
See you
it.
in the next one.
We'll see you in the next
See you
one.
in the next one.
And we'll see you in the next one. And thanks for following along. I really appreciate it. We're going to let them go. I'm going to get back to work. And sooner or later, we're all going to ride again. Thanks, guys.
USA on Harley.
USA on a Harley. Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.